Hello, what is up? We are here for Unschooled. Hi, Lex. How you doing?
Hi, Mandy. I'm doing great. We have a beautiful, sunny, warm day here. So I am feeling the revitalizing energy of spring creeping up.
I feel like so many people are getting that like everywhere in the country right now. I've been talking to so many people in different places, and like the sun has come back, and like most people had a really nice like weather weekend for Easter, and people have been getting out and grounding and getting their feet on the ground and working in their gardens and getting some sun on their face, and it's feeling good. I know I have been.
Yes. Yeah. I love it because I've been getting my garden ready and getting seeds sprouting and started. And it's just, I love the energy that this time of year brings with the time to plant new seeds for what to come. And it's such a beautiful time to manifest what we want to call into our future. And so it's just refreshing and like that feeling of it's a time for rebirth and like realignment. And we have the pre-retrograde right now, which has already been I've had to double check these dates a million times because I'm like, it's retrograde. Because it has been like, yes, we're in that shadow, the pre, but it's been some very retrograde vibes, technology.
Oh my gosh, as you're saying it, it's getting unstable. You're literally technology and it froze. I don't know if you guys have me or if I'm frozen. Who knows? Either way, we're all so glad you're here. This is Sea Goddess Healing Arts. Did it freeze on your side or was that my side?
I don't know. I have full service, fully connected. The internet, it could have been because it's really windy here, but I just feel like it's, you know,
Oh,
things should
yay! As she
for
freezes.
place.
There's our girls. Hey, Jessie May. She said, gardening is pretty much how I meditate. Brittany Ann said, I see you, Mandy. Jessie May says, as she freezes. And then Sharikra is here trolling. Hello, we're so glad you stopped by. We always use this as an opportunity to educate people that if you want a reading, people are going to come to you. And you don't need to poach other people's things and you don't need to go out and select people and things like that. So we thank you for stopping by. We're going to block you now. We send you good love and blessings and lesson opportunities. Awesome. Hi, Urs. Ursula's here. Urs can tell us all kinds of things about what's going on with retrograde. And if you haven't tuned into her podcast yet, it's amazing. It's called Becoming Chiron. At the beginning of every episode, she gives us an astro weather forecast, which is super awesome. And she lets us know like the energies that are going on at this time. And right now, yeah, it's all about Mercury's coming on in. She said Mercury's already got tricked. Fuck yeah, we've been experiencing that like crazy. And I always feel like, for me at least, I don't know about you, Lex, but I feel the Mercury retrograde energies more in the pre and post shadows. That's when it's the most active for me. And I feel like when Mercury's actually in retrograde is when I find my discipline coming in. I find myself like really slowing down and letting myself flow with it. And then I find myself being more grateful a lot because I am slow. And then I'm prepared for things to take longer. So then when it's faster, it's like, oh, wow, this is amazing. This is an opportunity to practice this. So, so excited that you are all here. Hi, Alicia's here. This is just fantastic. Jesse May said, trolling, trolling, trolling. Yes, if you're just tuning in, maybe we'll do some card pulls today. I don't know. This isn't actually a reading show. This is Unschooled. Lexi and I like to hold space with whoever hops on. We used to do these just recorded. Lately, we've been doing them live. And Lexi and I are always trying to reprogram ourselves and learn things and educate and rewire and bring ourselves into the most healing state that we can be so that we can be present and enjoy life in Earth School. And so during Unschooled, we like to dive deep and talk about things that we weren't taught in school. One of those we could talk about today is grounding. We were just talking about people getting outside. I know when I was in school growing up, they weren't telling me to go outside in my bare feet and all the amazing benefits that it would have for me or what it would do. And back in the day, they used to have gardening and home ec. And in some agricultural schools, they still have like 4-H programs and different things going on. So, hi, Janet. Welcome. So glad you could join us during your lunch. Grateful you're here. Awesome. We're just explaining a little bit about what's going on and what Unschooled is all about. So, you just never know. Brittany said, I wish I was taught to stand in my power and not people please so much. Ooh, perfect segue into our topic today. So Lexi and I co-teach a class called Shadow Twerk, where we work on our shadows, those sorts of things like standing in our power, not people pleasing. People pleasing is a trauma response. And honestly, like even back before all the programming and society and all the shit that's coming up and everything for us, primally as babies, we need other people to take care of us. And back in the day, in order to survive and stay warm, you had to be a part of the village and you had to figure out how to work together. And so we're calling so much of that in the new earth. But what'll happen now that so many things have happened and women were basically enslaved and so many people were enslaved over the past many, many thousands of years, we're all coming and starting to figure out freedoms and boundaries and what that looks like. One of the energies that was coming up a lot today and that Lexi and I want to talk about is the power of saying no. And it's so beautiful because it goes hand in hand with one of our amazing universal laws that we have to live by to be here in Earth School and to coexist in peace. And that law of free will is also the law of consent, and it's giving permission. It's when we ask our angels, angels, will you come and help me, please? Help me get a better parking spot. Help me to release this anger. Help me to forgive this person. Help me to stand in my power. Help me to not, be a people pleaser. Also, Brittany, if you want, send me a DM. I've got some really good resources for you. Marisa Peer is an incredible therapist. She's got she's a rapid transformational therapist. She's got a great YouTube channel and she has a lot of talks about people pleasing. And there's some other ones too. But things that we can start to do, especially when it comes to people pleasing, are practicing the pause and taking a step and calling our power back, working with that law of consent with ourselves first and foremost, and taking a breath and saying, okay, do I actually want to do this? One of our favorite friends and coaches that has been on our show here on Unschooled, Leslie Lyon, her inner guidance system is if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. If it's a maybe, it's a no. If it's a no, it's a no. And we feel that vibrationally. And a lot of times, especially women, we're programmed just to say yes, to jump in, to be of service, to help, without realizing if we're giving from a full or an empty cup. And when we jump in and say yes, and our cup's not full and we're not overflowing, we create resentment, we create unhealthy communication, we're showing up depleted. It just doesn't work out. So, a lot of times, the most badass, loving, and honorable thing we can do for all parties involved sometimes is saying no and saying, oh, I'd love to, but I can't, or just I simply cannot. What were you going to say, Lex?
Being able to say no is taking back your power, is a form of stepping up and showing up to situations that you are faced with in your power. When you are able to have that moment to read your body, to connect and be like, is this a yes or a no for yourself, right? And to go through that process and actually give the response no, because I'm a people pleaser. I, for so many years, thought that my self-worth was in how much I gave, that it was in how much I took away from myself to give to others, put myself on the back burner, serve everybody else. That was where my self-worth was in. That through servitude, right? Be a good little, serve, make sure everybody else is happy, pour, 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 pour. Never thinking about pouring from an empty cup, never thinking about, and every time too that I would go against, there would be a price to pay physically, spiritually, energetically. And so I feel like one of the hardest things can be no. It was one of my hardest. It still is hard at times. It's still, it's a journey, a process. But as soon as I start that awareness to stepping into that, is a power. That is a power statement. And the fact that I don't then have to explain, because I went through the period where I was like, okay, if I say no, I gotta have an explanation or reason. And then I it just stressed me out. It wasn't a healthy no. It wasn't that energetic no of just like when you're standing your power, So I believe
Yeah.
practicing that no, practicing that pause to ask yourself, is this a yes or a no? Am I doing this for me or them? Is this in alignment with what I want to call in? And practicing that chance to say no from a loving place and from your power. It's your power to set your boundaries. And no is it's so much healthier than I think we've been believed. You know what I mean?
Well, I love what you're talking about because I think that whether people want to admit it or not, like we are all energy readers. And like we can ignore energy and we can pretend it doesn't exist, but people like feel it and you know what's going on. Like if somebody's like saying yes, but they're meaning no, and you're feeling the cross vibes. And most people are pretty intuitive and we are trying to all learn and figure things out. And so sometimes with no also, especially if you're trying to, okay, so then hey Sophia, glad you're here. Brittany said, but what if it's a partner? You know, partners and relationships are the best places to learn and grow with this. I have a lot to say about this, but I want to let Lexi go first.
Mandy's been one of our soul coaches in my personal relationship with a partner and learning how to say no. Because it's one of those things where, again, I feel like it's that servitude aspect that we kind of sometimes feel the need to fulfill, right? And if you think about it, women, for how many generations you were taught to serve, right? Like I felt like Bridgerton, that series Bridgerton, I couldn't help but the entire time notice, be like, oh my gosh, like how, like it brought me back history wise to how repressed and controlled and the lack of freedom of choice and freedom to be who we were at that point. We were controlled. And so like this is part of our evolution, is being able to say no to our partner and have that healthy conversation. I know a lot of the times if I say no to something, I would fear what it would trigger within my partner. And so this has taken lots of work to get to that point, to be able to have those conversations and like, allow those fears that would arise around it. Like, okay, I'm scared of their reaction because why? I don't want to upset them. I don't want to trigger anything. So it's such a, yeah, Mandy, chime in.
I will. I'm honored to. I'm grateful to. So, first of all, when it comes to healthy communication, I like to always go by some rules like, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? And when we're talking about no and boundaries and things are coming up, Brittany, you elaborated more. I'm grateful. You said it's such a hard balance to know the difference between the little everyday things that you are expected to do in relationships that you may not feel like doing and the things that you really don't want to do. Exactly. Because there are things, and we were just talking about this and in our shadow tour class earlier, I talked about a moment in my own journey where I started to fall in love with the force because we have to reprogram our brains. And most of the time, we're not going to feel like it. And a lot of times, our feelings come after whatever activity or thought we had. Where a lot of times we're taught that if we're having some sort of feeling, it's because of something totally outside of us. But really, it's actually a reaction. We call these retrograde rewords, a reaction to what is actually going on in our circumstance and our thought process and all of those good things. And so there's always opportunity for healthy communication. What we can do is take an inventory of what is what are my roles and what are expectations and what am I actually willing to do? And here's the part where I fell in love with the force part with myself is like in my own healing routine, I needed to get up and do yoga every day. I'd broken my back 3 times, my ankles, I had all kinds of crazy shit going on, and yoga was one of my medicines. Do I feel like taking my medicine every day? No. But do I know that my life and my body and everything's going to be better, move better, see better, things are going to be more clear? If I take my medicine, yep. And for me, yoga was one of my medicines. So I had to get up and I had to get moving. And I knew I wasn't going to feel like it, but I knew after, all right, cool, like done, amazing, incredible. So you can apply that to the little things that we know we need to get done as medicines, that we know we need to get done as our responsibilities. When we're in partnerships, we hold each other accountable to certain things. Doesn't mean we can't pick up the slack sometimes or help other people. But it's so important to also establish clear and healthy boundaries. Sometimes it's an uncomfortable conversation, but if it's your partner, you guys are going to figure it out. You're going to come back together. If you can't get through that healthy conversation and then there's a red flag. There's a nice opportunity for some therapy and some deeper services and going deeper in yourselves and saying, all right, can my soul tolerate not speaking my truth? Where does that whole part come in? So I always encourage sit down and have some healthy conversations. Hey, babe, I love you so much. I love our relationship. Lately, I've been feeling like, my energy's shifting, and this is what I can give to this. These are the things I want to be doing. These are the things I'd like to see you be doing. And like, I'd like to just establish kind of our roles and like what we're showing up for in this partnership for our responsibilities. Then that takes away expectations a little bit because it just is what it is. And then it also kind of gives the expectation of, all right, like, yeah, I'm going to take you, take the garbage out or something like that. And then one night, if you're like, okay, hey, I'm really sore right now, babe, can you take the garbage out? Yeah, no problem. Healthy communication. The other thing too is really like explaining a little bit, not that you have to justify or anything, but sometimes giving a bit of a reason during a healthy communication helps. Like, babe, I got a really bad headache. My back really hurts. You mind doing that for me? Or I'm really overwhelmed emotionally. I need to go and I need to do my tappy and I need to practice my medicines. I need to go outside and take a walk. I'm going to regroup my thoughts. I'll be back in a half hour. A lot of times when we just do that and lead by example, especially when it comes to like masculine feminine relationships, men traditionally, and many of them are wired and intuitively want to be a provider and fix a situation. So when you tell them, provide what the problem is, and then the opportunity of you to go and fix it and just say, hey, can you hold some space? Or, oh, can you take the garbage out? Or whatever it is, it helps a lot. So I hope that helps. And I'm definitely going to give you a bunch of resources, Brittany, on people pleasing and all that good stuff. But always, when it comes to relationships and expectations, clear communication, healthy discussions, and boundaries. And we all grow and ebb and flow and change, and different things happen. And I know from knowing you, Brittany, like sometimes injuries come up and that can affect our relationships and different things. And roles change and expectations change. And then as we heal and flow, and healing is just another word for growth and transformation, so do things have to rewire and refocus. And Mercury retrograde is the best time to do that and say, hey, hello, I love you. I love you, my couple, my person, but we got to reevaluate and see where we're at in this relationship and what our responsibilities are. So I hope that helps and supports you. Lex, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, just so what I would like to add, the question about such a hard balance to know. Um, I feel like sometimes we do things, right? And our body's telling us, no, we don't want to keep doing this. And it's up to us to, right, create our energetic pattern, our day. And we are forcing ourselves to do these things, these expectations. Where is this expectation coming from? Okay.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Whose expectation am I filling here? Is this an expectation I've put on myself, or is this an expectation that's been put on me? And like having that conversation, it's an opportunity to strengthen your relationship. I honestly believe because it's an opportunity to understand each other more, to dive in deeper, hold space for each other, have that conversation to also align your current life, right, with what you need to be in your flow state, to feel good, to, have those emotions and those patterns in the day to really create your heaven on earth. So I am all for, if there's something that you do not want to do and you've been forcing yourself to do, look at it. How can you get out? Like, how can you delegate differently? How can this be lifted? Can the practice be changed? Can there be, for me, I freaking hate doing dishes. We don't have a dishwasher. I hate it. I despise it. I get
Yeah,
angry.
dishes are like the point of contention in most relationships, and that extra force moments that we need to do. Like, I can't tell you how many couples it comes down to the dishes. So,
Dishes, and I'm just like, I look at people eat. I'm like, why do you have to eat? Why can't you do it?
ah,
It's one of those things where I've struggled with it. So, but like when it comes down to it, right? It's a fact of the matter. I am currently the, housekeeper. That is currently one of my roles I'm here to play in my family team dynamic. And so, I am manifesting a dishwasher. It's a plumbing issue for the dishwasher to, it's an old house.
you're
And
in a cool
I
old house in Vermont.
I know for a fact because Spirit comes in and boops me so freaking hard on the head sometimes. Spirit comes in every time. It's like, you're looking at it all wrong. You are nourishing your family. Those dishes are a sign that your family is being fed, nourished. You make these beautiful meals. You're giving them love. They are, um, And also because I complain about the dishes, Spirit comes in and is like, you have independent kids that know how to take care of themselves and feed themselves and make food. And so, yes, it's a little messy, but they're learning, and that's a good thing. So, having to change the narrative around certain things that roles, expectations, things that I have to do. If I don't do the dishes, it piles up. I have nothing clean to cook the next meal with. So,
Also, opportunity to rewire with that. You have amazing growing children who are capable of more things, and perhaps we can lend that responsibility and relay it to others as well and work as a family dynamic and a team
exactly. So,
and take responsibility for our messes.
yeah, and I've had to have the conversation on a family level with my spouse, and then I've also had to challenge myself to then make it a time to fill my cup up too. So then I listen to my podcasts, watch a show while I do the dishes, and practice affirmations. And, it's such a challenge. I feel like it was a manifestation from my childhood of that never ending song from the Lamb Puppet Show, or it's the song that
What
never,
never ends if we could run it on, my friend. Okay, I won't do it.
you know,
You I think we sang each other out for a sec. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so we have a few comments and we only have about 10 minutes left in our show. A couple comments I want to get to. Haley, thank you so much for tuning in. She said hello from Australia, hello from New Jersey and Vermont. We are right on the opposite side of you and experiencing opposite season changes right now. She said, need some guidance, please. Have I found a friend or something more? Perhaps we will pull a card for you. We weren't pulling cards, but I think we will do a card pull for Haley. And then also, I wanted to acknowledge that Sophia had a really cool discussion point. She said, random question. What does I am that I am mean to you? It's some type of teaching or state of mind I'm guided to look into. I'm really into some of those sayings. Like I really love actually it is what it is. I used to like hate it and be like, ugh, you just don't give a shit. It is what it is. Now for me, it's this opportunity of acceptance, which is one of our themes in Shadow Work today, actually, acceptance and accountability. And acceptance is saying, I accept me for who I am right now. I accept my anger, my sadness, my trauma, my gifts, my strengths, the incredible, amazing being that I am at this time, which we're going to get into that being state. And then with that whole it is what it is too, like other people, I accept them for where they're at. I accept, even though it's not right or okay, whatever trauma is happening that I can't control out in the world or different things. And I accept the states that there are. And so I am that I am, or what I am, I hear both a lot. For me, what I resonate with that is as we move into, especially doing shadow work and reframing and saying things like, I am love, I am joy, I am abundance, I am peace, I am all these things. I think I am is almost this beautiful energy that it's like a conjuring energy, if you will. It's this calling in energy of who we are and what we are, and an opportunity to step into integrity a little bit more. And like, if you're saying, I am peace, I am peace, am I peace? Like, am I showing up as peace? Am I practicing a pause? Am I allowing myself to take a breath and be a peace in a moment? Or am I allowing myself to get pissed every single time? Doesn't mean you can't get pissed sometimes. Doesn't mean you can't have sacred anger or rage or things come through you. But we all know when our feelings have taken over. And a lot of times it's when we're cooking or stirring or doing the dishes or doing something we don't want to be doing. So that's how it resonates with me. What about you, Lex?
My mic was off. I agree with you completely on that. And it's funny because I was just reading, I've been in the process of trying to read the Ram Dass Be Love. And it's that acceptance of like, acceptance of things for the way they are in that moment. Um, and the I am what I am. Sometimes I think it can be used not as an excuse, you know what I mean? Like it can be taking anything can be turned into a negative, you know, put on the negative side of the spectrum. But I think it's beautiful because coming at peace, right, and acceptance, two of our themes from class today. I feel like it's living in that. It helps practice that acceptance.
Totally. I agree. Do you want to pull a card for Haley?
I want you to. I was gonna do the pendulum.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Do you want to do the pendulum first, or you want me to pull a card first?
Pull a card first.
All right. For Haley, I'm going to pull you a couple tarot cards, see what we got here. Haley's wanting to know if you can give her any guidance into if she has a new friend or something more brewing in her world. 1, 2, 3. Very interesting. So right now, first you get the 8 of Wands. Wands are all about taking our own incredible accountability, being integral, and trusting our intuition. Your intuition, they're showing, has been pretty spot on lately. And in fact, they're showing you've gained a lot of patience. You've let yourself step a little bit more into your goddess mode. And you've been acting, they're encouraging you to act more like the rose and be and allow it to come. Don't play too many games or anything like that, but just see what's authentic and allow yourself to be pursued. You get 2 amazing other cards with this. You get the Strength card, which is standing on your own, being that person, allowing yourself to attract, and, allowing yourself too to say, is this something more? It might be. Here comes in your High Priestess. This is where you get to discern and say, could be this person or someone or something better. And do they meet my needs? And are they adding to my peace? Are they wanting me to expand? Am I wanting to help them grow and love them? Are we inspiring one another? Or am I having too many feelings of nervousness or anxiousness or not knowing or not feeling secure in this? And so it's an opportunity to step into your High Priestess and to really weigh it out and enjoy this experience right now, because this is here for you to trust your intuition. And they're showing you got all the power. They're showing there's some potential there, but also potential to practice what you've learned and to be into receiving. You then get Warrior Woman. If you weren't afraid, what would you do? If you would mind being a little brave and courageous and maybe sharing with us, Haley, and typing in, if you weren't afraid, what would you do? This is from Rebecca Campbell's Light Work Your Light deck. She's one of my favorite teachers. She's incredible. And this represents Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc is incredible warrior S energy. She was a young woman. I think she was like 14 and part of the French Crusades. And she's known for saying, I'm not afraid. I was born to do this. And it wasn't that. The thing is, courage. You have to have fear to have courage. You can't have courage without fear. There's got to be something going on, and you got to be a little courageous and say, all right, even though I have fear, I know I can do this. I know I can walk through this. And so if there's an opportunity for an action step on your side, all signs point to check it out, see what's going on. I've done that before too. And, it doesn't mean you have to be the pursuer either. It's like they call it in old school ways in dating and stuff, dropping the handkerchief. Like, it's like you see someone or something you're interested in, you can drop a hint or a note. And some people sometimes don't get it or this or that, but it's a sliding door moment. It's an opportunity to shift and switch energies and see where things are at. So sometimes if you weren't afraid, maybe do that. And sometimes you can just reach out and say, oh, I know we're good friends and like I'm enjoying hanging out. You want to like hang out one-on-one sometime maybe and see what comes of that. And sometimes that's like if you weren't afraid, what would you do? Lex, what do you have?
See, I did the pendulum and I was asking, for Haley, is it okay to ask this question for Haley? And it was yes. And then so I got, are they just friends? And there was a big fat no. And I said, is there a chance at more than friends? Yes. Is this can this be a romantic connection? Yes. Can this be a soul connection? Yes. So I think there is some beautiful opportunities here for you for some beautiful experiences, relationships. So I say definitely trust yourself, trust how you feel, and have some courage here. So
And Haley gave us confirmation. She said I'd go for it. So we're rooting for you. We're sending you all the love. Sophia's sending you fire. Brittany says, I love that reading. And Haley said, oh, thank you so much, Lady Kisses. You are so, so welcome. And Benjamin, hey, from YouTube, he popped in and said, cannot be defined. I am that I am. And he other comment with that said, oh, let me go back up to that one. I am that I am says, that I exist without limitations. I am without definition, which I love because
I
ultimately we're trying to get to this beautiful
yes,
state of unattachment. And as we shift into this fifth dimensional 5D consciousness and beyond, it's all about releasing all limitations. And so we just are. We're simply being. And then the more we vibe, the more we do our shadow work, the more we go from I am just this angry person to I am open to receiving. I am open to being present. I am open to simply being and coexisting and allowing the universe to surprise me and walking the path before me. What were you going to add in, Lex?
I was just gonna say that is so perfectly put. Like a mic drop moment. I just screenshotted it because it's like I'm gonna put that on an affirmation card because that's perfect. So thank you for that share because that's good. That's
And
juicy.
so she just said, thank you too. She said, ooh, I love that. Thank you, Joshua. Ah, so beautiful. Thank you all so much for tuning in today, for hanging out with Lexi and I for a little bit here on Unschooled. As always, we never know what direction we're going to go into. Um, Please give us a like, a share, a follow on Sea Goddess Healing Arts. We offer all kinds of amazing online classes, soul circles and group, in-person classes and workshops and soul circles and groups. Lexi, do you want to share about the group that you offer?
Yes, so every other Sunday, and this Sunday is one of our Sundays at 3:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There is a private Goddesses in Recovery Zoom group that meets. It is an open space for anybody that is in recovery, has somebody in their life in recovery, works in recovery, just wants to show up and hold some sacred space around recovery. And so, as a place to come, you can either lay it on the altar, support one another, and our mission is to, stand together and create a tidal wave of positive change in the recovery community.
Awesome. Brittany said she needs to get there. Shoot Lexi a message after this. Try to connect, reach out to me. We'll figure it out. But we can get you hooked up with that group. And it's just an incredible thing that keeps all the energies moving. And Josh sent us a smile. Thank you, Joshua Benjamin. We appreciate you and your wisdom. And Alicia said, thank you. Have an amazing day. So yes, and we offer one-on-one services. I'm an intuitive ascension guide. If you're wanting a reading, if you're wanting to hold some soul space and take a look at what's going on now and why. And I feel very grateful and lucky. I get to see past lives a lot, different karmic chains, things that are keeping us blocked or traumas or beliefs, and how to move through those, and how to manifest and co-create what we really want. So I love holding soul space, and all my services are offered on seagoddesshealingarts.com. And if you made it to the end of this live, I always offer my 50% off code, which is MANDEE Live, and you can apply that to any of my services. We also have an in-person day retreat coming up at Zen Wellness Landing Yoga. It's going to be amazing. We're excited about that. You get 6 hours of soul space with Sea Goddess. We're going to be releasing our summer drum circle series. We're going to be doing one in spring here at HD Workshops coming up soon. And we're going to be at the Crops Market here in New Jersey on Saturday in Linwood on Saturday morning. So lots of opportunities in person, online, and we have our Thursday night readings, our Thursday night lives tomorrow night. And Lexi, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about your services and your coupon?
Sure. So I have some services available on Sea Goddess Healing Arts also. I like to meet people wherever they are on their journey and show up as soul support. I believe that just like it takes a village to raise a child, that we still need a village around us as an adult. So I like to think of myself as just, being a support person. And, I don't replace healthcare or anything like that, but I like to utilize my background. I've gone from, Western to woo woo, as I call it, medicine wise. So I have experience with like herbal help, cleanses, detoxing. I also do some mediumship, card reading. I love supporting parents and families and people in recovery. So I do lymphatic drainage and have lots of great tools that I love to share. And so I let spirit guide me in sessions and, hold that sacred space to allow things to come up and, be soul support. So if you're interested, I also have a coupon code Lexi15 for 15% off my services.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. Thank you for being here. We love and appreciate you. And we will see you hopefully tomorrow night on Thursday Night Lives. And thank you again for liking, sharing, and supporting Sea Goddess Healing Arts. We are grateful for you all. We believe in you all. And we're all walking this path together. So we'll figure it out. Bye for now.